Hi everyone, I'm Tanaz from foreverconscious.com and this is your weekly energy forecast for the week of March 8th. So this week brings the full moon. It's a super moon. It falls in the sign of Virgo on the 9th. Supermoons happen when the moon is closest to Earth, so we feel its effects more strongly. All full moons are a time of release. They draw things out of us. On this supermoon, we're going to feel that magnified. That release work will be magnified. When I tune into this full moon, the word feels like purge. It's like we're purging, we're detoxifying, we're creating space, not just in our physical lives, but also inside as well. I have kind of been feeling this desire to clean out my closets and sort of create space and declutter, in my apartment. And maybe you've been feeling the same. I guess it's that sort of spring cleaning energy in the air as well. But this full moon is really about that sort of purge energy. It's also preparing us for the start of the astrological new year, which happens in a couple of weeks when the sun moves into Aries. So there's this new beginning on the horizon. So this full moon is also guiding us to release so we can create space for this new beginning that's coming up as well. So strong themes of release and purging around this full moon. But there are many other little dynamics happening as well. In fact, this is a really busy time. There's so much going on in the cosmos. I'm going to kind of all bundle it together because it's just too hard to sort of separate and talk about each little thing individually. So I'll kind of mush it all together so you can understand the energies of what's going on this week because there's just a lot. So big full moon, time of release. There's also this other energy of illumination, and this happens not just because of the full moon, but also Mercury goes direct this week. It happens just after the full moon on the 10th, but could also be the 9th depending on your time zone. So this is Mercury's first retrograde of the year. It's been traveling through Pisces, through Aquarius. It's retrograde, and this week it'll go direct. So it'll bring illumination. Mercury retrograde, or any retrograde for that matter, is always most potent at the start and at the end. So this is a really potent time for Mercury's little retrograde cycle, and it will help to shine a light on things that have felt foggy or unclear, or things that we have been ignoring or pushing away. This is not a time, really it's never a time to ignore our intuition, but this is really not a time to ignore our intuition, to ignore nagging feelings or maybe some symptoms or something that you've been putting off. This is a time to really pay attention, to really listen to your body, to really listen to any intuitive hunches that you're getting, because the illumination, this is a real illuminating energy, and you kind of need to pay attention to any of the signs and intuitive pings that you're receiving. This is also not just because of Mercury, but because of Neptune, which is also very active all through this week. Neptune communicates to us through our dreams and through these intuitive messages. So we really need to pay attention more so than usual this week as we're moving through these energies. Neptune is very active. So on one hand, we are getting these intuitive messages. Maybe our dreams are being very vivid, maybe prophetic. It's a good time to write down your dreams if you don't already. But Neptune can also create fear and uncertainty. Well, actually, it creates uncertainty, and then we fear that uncertainty. And there's definitely a lot of that going around right now. We're feeling there's, a lot of unknown things happening, and this can create fear. So being really mindful of trying to stay balanced, trying to not feed into that. And this is not just happening on a global level, it can also be happening on a personal level as well, this sort of fear of the unknown. So if that resonates for you, if that's something that you're feeling at the moment, know that this Neptune energy asks us to go within, to really tune into our spiritual essence, to find and connect with our higher self, to be at one, to be still with the self. It wants us to sort of shift out of the material world and the things that, all the noise that's happening around us, and go within, find that stillness, and then work on creating that stillness in your outer world. It doesn't just want us to go in and get lost in all of that, although that can kind of happen sometimes too. It wants us to go within, find that stillness, and then apply it to our everyday waking lives. So we're kind of being drilled with this lesson at the moment too, all kind of through this week as well, because of Neptune, which is aligning with the sun around the time of, and is triggered on this full moon, and this energy is kind of heightened. The other energy that we're dealing with this week is Venus and Uranus. This is kind of a really nice energy. It may stir things in our relationships or in matters of the heart, but it is a really fun energy. Venus has just moved into Taurus. It loves being in the sign of Taurus. So there is this sort of romantic, heart-centered energy. It's a great time to, get your hair done or get a facial. I just got a facial. It's a good time to do stuff like that. It's beautiful sort of feminine, soothing energy when Venus is in Taurus. It's also a good time to think about your finances too. So if there's some little nagging things happening there, or maybe you're like me and need to get organized with your taxes, that's a good energy, supportive energy with that as well, especially as Mercury goes direct and starts getting sort of smoother and more supportive to our sort of thinking and organizational efforts. So lots and lots of energy. We're basically in this purge. Things are being illuminated. Our intuition is heightened. There is this energy of, maybe feeling uncertain, or there's this sense of like something being unknown in our lives, and we're seeing it in the world at the moment too. But we're being called to find our stillness, to connect with the oneness and the love that we are, find that truth and what it means for us, and then find a way to bring it into the world, to bring it into this chaotic world, and sort of be that center of stillness for ourselves and others. And all of this leads us in to the start of the astrological new year, which happens on the March equinox, which is March 19. This wonderful, bright new beginning. Shortly after this date as well, Saturn moves into Aquarius. I've written an article about that if you'd like to read more. This is a huge monumental shift. So I hope that was helpful. I'll put some links below. I also have a March meditation if you would like to do that. Really great for these energies. And I have a Virgo full moon reading as well. If you'd like to purchase that, I'll put a link for that below. I hope this was all helpful. I hope you have a great week. Stay in your center, stay in your truth, connect to that higher self, and I hope you have a great week. I am Tanaz. Thank you so much.